Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Southampton, part of the Global Sports Podcast Network. I am your host, Zach Ingo Finch, and I am joined as ever by Mr. Gregory Elliott. How are you doing, bud?
I'm loving life, mate. I'm doing good. I'm excited. You found some stuff for Transfer Tuesday.
I have found some stuff for Transfer Tuesday. Greg knows some of this because, as you will notice from our probably not real reactions listeners, this is our second attempt at recording this today. Tech issues are just like part and parcel of podcasting, so sometimes you just go again. We did manage to find some information. So if you listen to our last episode, we were kind of thinking about pushing it to Transfer Thursday. And I was like, no, I don't think it's going to get better by Thursday. So I had a look at all of the usual places I have a look. So shout out to Saints Extra, Just Saints. They obviously had a bit of information. Then I did some manual digging, had a look around online. And I found some stuff out, mate. Like, we got enough for an episode. Put it that way. We know. We had one before.
Yeah, mate, I'm excited. You know my memory. It's all gone in and straight out.
To be fair, I would be surprised that you don't know much of what's about to come up. So I will start with a statement from our manager, Will Still, who said, on selling players, it's slow progress because the market people are waiting for bigger things to happen before smaller things. I'm sure by the time we get to Spain or start the competition, we will have a balanced squad and be ready to push on. Now, I have a lot of feelings about that statement, Greg. The main one being, by the time we get to Spain or start the competition, those are two different time periods, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm one of them.
We're like a day away from one of them, and we're about 3 or 4 weeks away from another. So yeah. Those are big sort of... I don't know. I think
it's a difficult one, right? Because it's like buying a house. It's like you're waiting for the chain to move on. You're waiting for clubs to sell their players and need to buy replacements, or for one of their targets to go to a different club and them to move to their second choice. Or there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces, and as much as you want to get it done and out of the way early, it's just not always as easy as that.
Yeah, and I think that's the case with how it's been, right? And I think we are probably going to start to see some movement once we see who's gone to Spain, because there will be big price tags. Well, there'll be price tags on players as suddenly they realise they're not part of the plans. They might start trying to get things moving in the background for themselves, and agents might start trying to move them on. So it'll be interesting to see where we end up, but we know that the squad needs to be trimmed, and we also know that there's a couple of players that probably is going to be a bit of a struggle to move them on unless they drop down, and some of them aren't going to want to drop down. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at, and that's why it's been a much quieter July than we first anticipated by the looks of things. But there is still some news, Greg. So where would you like to start? Outgoings or incomings?
Mate, let's start with outgoings and get it out of the way.
Perfect. Rightio. So, outgoing number one. So we have a new Liverpool now, as you've probably noticed, Greg, and that seems to be West Ham for some reason. Don't quite know when they decided they wanted all of our old players. Don't know if Graham Potter's been paying attention. Obviously, Kyle Walker-Peters has just signed, and we talked about that yesterday. But they are also supposedly interested in Matías Fernandes. So Liverpool's Harvey Elliott is West Ham's top midfield target, but the Hammers are being put off by the £40 million price tag, and Southampton's Matías Fernandes is also being considered, and that's according to Jack Rosser on X/Twitter. So this is a bit of a weird one, right? Because it's kind of, they're not willing to pay £40 million for Harvey Elliott. Now, to my knowledge, Greg, our price tag for Matías Fernandes is higher. Am I mistaken?
No, I'm pretty sure that's what at least has been said publicly and outwardly, that 35 million wouldn't buy his hair. So it's a baffling one. It's such a strange one anyway. Would Harvey Elliott go to West Ham even if they did cough up the money? Is that them trying to save face? It's a baffling one. But look, I mean, we've worked hard to put ourselves in a position where we're not going to be taking cut price bids, right? It's pay up or don't.
Yeah, but and that's the thing, because it's not just us, right? Because like Liverpool don't really need to sell. Admittedly, they've spent significantly more money than us this window, but they're not really trying to pad out their squad. Like the people that they've targeted have been specific, so they're not in a position they have to sell, and their price tag's £40 million. We are also in a position where we do not have to sell, and as you pointed out, we've worked hard to get there. And the idea that we're going to sell like a player who Matias Fernandez is what, one of like three we'd really like to keep hold of. Fans would probably like to keep hold of Ramsdale, and then other than that, it's Dibbling and Matty, right? And Ramsdale has already been said he's had the green light to go, but they aren't going to take a cut price offer. And it's baffling to me that there seems to be sort of like this level of privilege where because we are a relegated side, they just want they just think they can buy our players no matter what with like cut price. Like I remember seeing someone tweet out, and obviously I know that they're not representative of all West Ham fans, but it's like you'll take £20 million and James Ward-Prowse and you'll like it, and it's like, nah, I don't think we will actually. I think we'll stick to however much we want to sell our players for, and if you want to meet that, then happy days, you can have the player. If you don't want to meet that, then no, you can leave us alone. And it's like,
At the end of the day, he's under contract with us, and we're not in a position where we're scrambling to sell him. So, it comes down to what he's worth to us versus what he's worth to them. And if he's worth more to us than he is to them, then he'll stay.
yeah, and it was exactly the same reason that sort of price tag was put on Dibbling like that. And we've also discussed like how price tags can affect players and this and the other. But in the role of the transfer market, it's like, hey, this is how valuable they are to us. Do you want to pay this? No. Obviously, there's always room for negotiation, but like there seems to just be an arrogance that if they're struggling to pay 40 million for Harvey Elliott, they're just going to turn around to this relegated side and pick up one of our players for less, a player that we would not want to sell for that much money. So we'll see how it is, but we've got a little bit more to talk about with regards to West Ham, Greg, after the break.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bionique, the world's most personalised supplements. Bionique provide 100% tailor-made supplements, designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bionique. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Woo! So we are back. So, Greg, where we left off, we were talking about West Ham trying to buy one of our players. And we have another West Ham trying to buy another one of our players. So West Ham remains strongly interested in Southampton defender Taylor Harwood-Bellis, who would command a fee of upwards of £20 million this summer, and that is according to Team Talk on X/Twitter. So this is a bit of a strange one, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure where my opinion sits on this. I mean, at the start of the end of last season, it was widely reported that he was going to be looking to move on, and I guess we accepted it at that point. I mean, he's been out injured and said the right things since, and it made us think maybe not, but we've got a lot of centre-backs,
We've got so many centre-backs. And like, he's not been involved in pre-season yet, and I'm aware that that's due to injury, right? But it's one of those things that, like, we've talked about him in the show before, being potentially future captain material. He came. He's had his sort of cap, and he wants to get back into the England setup. And there seems to be people sort of, some of the reporting around it is that like, oh well, he deserves Premier League football, and I'm like, arguably, you're part of like one of the leakiest defences ever in Premier League history. I feel like trying to say that you deserve anything is a bit rich, and like obviously they might be admirers of him and they might want to bring him in, and I'm kind of the opinion that I'd love it if he stays. I'd love to see him grow with the club. I think he's got a lot of potential. If he goes, he goes. I'm kind of not. I don't really have more of an opinion than that, and I think that I would have if you'd said like middle of last season, I probably would have fought more for it. But now I'm kind of in the stage of like, oh, that's that's okay. If the worst comes to the worst, like we've not even seen him see pre-season so far, and we've already seen that some of our centre backs are doing a better job. If you'd asked me who we should have given a 3-year contract to, him or Stevens, probably would have been him, in my opinion. I'm aware there's lots of stuff going on with Stevens behind the background. We're not footballers. We don't know how important he is to the dressing room and how important he is to the team. But I'm not happy to be proven wrong. But if he ends up going for sort of 20 to 30 million, I'm also not going to be devastated. I think you're kind of in the same boat now, right?
Yeah, look, we signed him for 20 million, so it'd be interesting for him to go for like effectively breaking even. I don't know. Like, there's so much promise in there, and if he can live up to that promise, I think we've talked before about like the potential of a future Saints captain in there and a leader. But if his head's elsewhere and he wants to move on, I guess so be it. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case, right? Because you said he's saying all the right things, but it just seems to be he's an attractive prospect, and I feel like the idea of playing Premier League football is going to be more exciting. And it's for me one of the only things that I would be a bit baffled by is after going out on loan and then back and forth and back and forth. Similar with like Flynn Downs, right? That you eventually, surely you would like a home, right? You'd like to have a place that you play, and even if it's for not forever, but you like to have an established club that you have played for. Oh, who did he play for? Not, oh yeah, he was the guy. For example, like most Chelsea players, like he was at Chelsea for 20 years and played 20 different seasons with different clubs, right? That's where I'm at. That he has a chance to, I guess, have something more substantial here. But also, if somebody puts in a large enough bid and he's also happy to make the move, then he's happy to make the move. There's not a lot we can do about it. But alas, again, West Ham, our new Liverpool, picking up all of our old players. The other thing I want to mention, which was according to, I actually have the source this time around, InsideFootball.com. Udinese have identified Southampton's Armel Bella-Kotchap as an option, as they are looking to replace Jacob Bijol, who has joined Leeds United. But they want to do a deal on their terms. How do we feel about this one, Greg?
Yeah, on the contrary to what we were just saying about being in a position to hold our own and, go for the price we want, I'm pretty sure that a huge percentage of the Saints fan base at this point, having seen, under so many managers, it not working here for Bella-Kotchap for whatever reason, would be willing to offer lifts or accept, 50p in a Twix for for him. Yeah, look, it's very clear that his future is going to be best served elsewhere. So, yeah.
This is the thing, right? Like, he's played under what? Hassan Hootel, Jones, Sellis, Juric, Martin. Don't think he's got to look in under rust, right? And it's not worked out. And he needs to, in my opinion, restart his career elsewhere. And it might be that the promise of what we saw that first season has been lost somewhere along the way. We don't know why. There could be multiple reasons on the field and off the field. I think he needs to go and restart his career elsewhere. And he's also linked to Hamburg, Werder Bremen as well, or Werder Bremen as well. So there's a couple of places that he could go to. And also, he will be in, I think he's in the last year of his contract now. I just can't imagine him wanting to spend another year just running it down, not doing anything. Because, I feel like that would speak a lot about character if he ends up doing that. Just to kind of, because then he's left completely without a club. So we'll see how it turns out. But that was, I think, some of the concrete interest I've seen for him outside of Germany. And hopefully that means we'll actually, not see the back of him. I don't want to put it like that, but hopefully he will get a move and we will get a space freed up.
Yeah, right? Look, it hasn't worked out here. It is what it is. Hopefully he goes on to do good things elsewhere, but it's evidently clear it's not going to be here. So.
Right, so the other ones, there's not particularly Saints related. By that I mean it is ex-Saints players. So Lianco has been linked to a move to Everton, which would mean that he would join Charlie Alcaraz as one of that year's cohorts that have gone off, returned to either domestic leagues, which I think, because the Yankees were back in Brazil, and then somehow returned to the Premier League via Everton. Bit of a weird one. I don't know whether there's how much legs there are to that story, but I saw it across my travels and thought it was interesting.
That's a really strange one, isn't it? But look, I mean, they're clearly building a profile, and that profile is red mist. Right? Players who are not afraid to get stuck in maybe too much.
Looking forward to sort of breaking the legs of Liverpool players is kind of how it feels, right? Between him and Alcaraz, like as much as we love Charlie, he was also prone to a bit of a red streak, and the Yankees.
I mean, if anything, that was one of the main things we loved about Charlie, because he showed that level of fight when not a lot of the rest of the team did. So,
there you go.
It's a fire that you need.
That is all I've got for outgoings, mate. So now we can talk about some more exciting things after a word from our partners at Zencastr.
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform, and Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description and learn more about Zencastr.
And we are back. So, Greg, I'm going to start us off with some links to players that have either are not going to come through to fruition, but have been transfer rumours. The first of which is Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. At the moment, a return to Southampton does not seem likely to seem on the cards for the now free agent Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and that's from TalkSport. Can I get a hallelujah? Because I'm so done.
Right. Look, there's a world where we have a trimmed squad and a player of his experience and knowledge of the club and of other leagues and clubs comes and serves us well. But this is not the place all the time. We are actively trying to reduce our squad numbers to trim the fat, and that just isn't what I don't see the benefit he would bring to us, is where I'm at.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And it's one of those things as well that even what you said there about him knowing the club, I'm like, clubs change a lot, apart from Manchester United that's fallen apart at the seams. Most clubs change a lot over sort of a 10-year period, 15. We have gone from, in that period of time, Europa League, we've dropped down, we've come back up, we've dropped down again. We've spent time under about 2 or 3 different owners, probably in the last time he even kicked the ball at St Mary's. And that includes when he was playing for Arsenal, and Liverpool. So it's one of those things where, I get it, sure. Whenever a Southampton player, especially a Southampton player that was a good prospect that came out of our academy, is released from a club or potentially on the move, we're always linked with him. It's like Danny Ings. We're going to be linked with him. Danny Ings is going to be 45 and retired, and there's still going to be an article somewhere that says that he's going to come back and play for us. Whatever. But it's nice to have this one kind of nipped in the bud early, so we don't sit there about, so people aren't already getting Oxlade-Chamberlain printed on their back of their shirts, even if it's the same price. It's not price per letter, is it? But yeah, it's one of those things that I'm kind of glad that we're not linked to it. And yes, experience is lovely, Greg, but we've also seen how that works out with players that we've got experience that play about 10 games.
Like I say, there's a world where this is a logical sign of Saints. It's just not this one, right? Maybe the last championship season, that experience would have been what we needed. But this, at the moment, we're such a bloated squad. It's just not what we're looking for.
Indeed. Right. So, another one that we were linked to, but it seems to have fallen through. Il Jazeera midfielder Mamadou Koulibaly has rejected Southampton and LAFC to extend his contract and become one of the best paid young players in the UAE Pro League. And that is according to Sasha Tavo Nieri. I got there in the end, Greg. You've got everything else. It's fine. My word. You'd think on 2 times of recording, I didn't overthink that.
It was a good effort.
I feel awful for this young lad because the tidbit in Saints history that we will remember is me mispronouncing his name about 7 times in a row. He has decided to not join us. He has decided to stay in the UAE. I've seen stories sort of clickbaity articles a little bit, talking about how loads of midfielders are rejecting Southampton and this and the other. This doesn't feel like he specifically rejected us. This feels like he took a massive pay increase because, again, footballers have a job. If a job has a larger pay at one place than another, a vast majority of the time, if people are happy at that place, why would they leave? And it kind of feels like that.
Exactly that, right? Like, not just a big pay rise at a place that he is clearly already settled. So, look, yeah, fair play to him. Go make the money. Good. And sighs of relief from Zach that he doesn't have to learn how to pronounce your name properly for the rest of the season.
I can only apologise to my compatriot who now has to go through and cut about 17 different attempts before finally landing on the right one. If you want to know which one it is, mate, it's the one where you belly laughed at me for actually managing to get it right. So, moving on. So these rumours, Greg, actual confounded rumours of potential incomings. These aren't people that are going to leave. These are people that we have been linked to. So this is the stuff that you couldn't find because in between all of the different Coldplay memes, there was the information. You just had to search it out, right?
It's just been exclusively Coldplay memes.
I don't know why at this point they just don't start putting replacing the pictures of the people with the pictures of the footballers we're supposedly trying to get. I think it would probably work out quite well.
That would resonate for me.
Yeah, it seems like something our admin would do at this point as well. So
retro, that meme from 3 days ago.
Already outdated. Southampton are among the sides to have inquired about Espanyol right back Ruben Sanchez, and that is according to Matej Moreto. Apparently, I can pronounce that with no issue. He is a player for Espanyol, and he is a right back, but also a right winger. He's pretty much spent about the last season at Granada, and the season before that, he spent the first half on loan. And the second half, he helped Espanyol when they were dropped down to the second Spanish league, fight back up and get promoted. And his reward for promotion was to immediately get sent back on loan to Granada. So, obviously, we know that we keep being linked to right backs. We've got Seguara, who has come out publicly multiple times, it seems, recently, stating that he wants to stay, wants to fight for his place, wants to make amends for last year. Again, saying all the right things. We've got Stone Cold James Bree, ever since he shaved his head, becoming an absolute baller. But obviously, that's only two right backs, right? We don't have the luxury of a Kyle Walker-Peters that can play left and right hand side. I know that I think that I've seen that he's deployed a couple of the centre backs in sort of to cover right when needed, but also he's an option as a right winger. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to it. There's no weird, tenuous links to Saints that I can see. The only thing of note that I wrote down that's interesting is he's played for Catalonia once. I'm not getting into the Spain Catalonia, what that. You can leave it. If you want to know about that, you can look up yourself. Pep Guardiola once got in trouble for having Catalonia independence. I remember one time when they tried to declare themselves free from Spain. Nothing to do with anything. I just thought it was quite interesting that he has an international cap for a country that isn't recognised as a country.
Look, he seems to match a profile that we're going for, right?
Yeah.
We're clearly going for versatility, physicality, athleticism.
Attacking players that can play both wingers and
I mean,
right back.
Look, we didn't score goals last season, so attacking players down the wings, it seems like from what I've been hearing from these behind closed doors friendlies that a lot of our play is going to come down to getting up on that wing and dragging it back into a promising position. So, good. Yeah, great. Promising stuff. Exciting.
Happy days. Right. So the other one we have been linked to is this is one that the source is dubious at best. It's from a place called it's africafoot_com, and it's like the website is africafootball.com. So I had a look into it, and this could be one of those sort of Southampton are looking for a player of my exact profile. I'm going to put out into the media that they've been speaking to me, and maybe it goes somewhere. But Southampton have reportedly made an offer for free agent Guinean midfielder Morley Silla, 26, most recently of Portuguese side Aroca. So yeah, apparently that's a thing that's happened. So he has 37 caps for Guinea. He is an attacking midfielder who can play on both the left and the right. He is currently without a club. He was released, not sure why. He's played 97 times for his previous club, scoring 9 goals and assisting 11 times. And according to a source that's close to the player, we've tabled a bid, and they have apparently countered that. And one of the big motivating factors is the idea of the Premier League and the project that we're building. So it's a bit of a strange one because, like, obviously it fits a profile of what we're looking for. It fits that creative midfielder, but it seems to just sort of be there is this free agent, and apparently we're talking to him, but the sources are a guy close to him, which theoretically could be him or his agent.
I'm not entirely surprised that any of our dealings go pretty quiet. I mean, half the time we don't know about them until they are done and dusted.
This is true.
Of all of the teams, some of our stuff really comes out of left field. But that said, like, the obvious red flag to a lot of people is that he's a free agent. But then that said, Carl Walker-Peters was a free agent this summer, and he was one of our best players for the last couple of years. So
yeah,
look, I'm not going to have claimed to have watched any of his caps for Guinea or any of his time playing in the Portuguese league. So
yeah,
if the people who are making the decisions think that he'll be an additional benefit to the squad, great. I hope he is. Like,
I feel like that's the thing, right? Lack of transfer fee would be handy. It's been hard to find any information about him. Like even sort of your transfer markets and your Wikipedias. Like Wikipedia is just say he plays as a midfielder. He played for this club, and he originally played for Guinea, or like he plays for Guinea sometimes as an international. And other than that, there's just nothing about this guy whatsoever. So it potentially is one of those things that we don't really know a lot. Maybe something is happening. The only thing that sets off alarm bells is 2026 is a bit older than what the profile we've been sort of going for. But also, if it's a free agent, it might be that that's kind of tempting over the line. Or this is a complete nothing story and it goes away and we hear nothing else. But we've been linked with some attacking midfielders of transfers that have fallen through. So maybe maybe he was slightly down the pecking order, and maybe we have given him an offer. So either way, it's something that's slightly more tangible than we think maybe we think maybe we're going to buy a player. Because if not, that's what a lot of this episode would have been. Right, yeah, Greg. So we got one last one, which we've kind of already spoken about before. So Xavier Mbuyamba, he is the one we were talking about last week, centre-back position. We kind of thought it was a bit strange. And according to Fabrizio Romano, who obviously the Here We Go guy, Dutch side Volendam are willing to let reported Southampton target leave this summer for €500,000. So real cheap, 430k. I think we kind of may have already mentioned this. I can't remember if I have, but I know that it's come up within the days since we last recorded. So it might just be that it's become a bit more true. It seems real cheap for the guy that's being described as like the new Van Dijk, right?
Yeah. Look, if the value's right, and I mean, does another centre back fit into our squad currently? I don't know, but if the value's right and the position's right, maybe it's the punt we take. It's just gonna have to wait and see.
So yeah, that's pretty much it, Greg. Originally, you thought we wouldn't have enough for a transfer episode. We thought we'd have to push it to Thursday. I was convinced there wasn't going to be enough for Thursday. We recorded it once. We've recorded it again.
There we go.
Don't ever say that we are not dedicated, because it turns out when you do a daily podcast, re-records takes up a bit of time. But as always, I just want to thank everyone for listening and tuning in. We hope that you've learned a bit, or we hope, we've never really claimed to be anything than armchair experts. Greg at least goes to the games. But either way, you can tell we're passionate about Saints. We wouldn't talk about it every single day if not. But this podcast would be nothing without you guys, so we appreciate you all greatly. We don't know what we're doing tomorrow. I'm hoping to maybe get another player profile done. So we'll have a look. Maybe Wellington is what I'm thinking. If something else completely different comes out, I apologise. Other than that, we're on all the social medias. We're on Facebook. We're on X/Twitter. We're on Blue Sky. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Let us know how you're doing. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the episode. I wish you all a merry and happy Tuesday if you're listening on a Tuesday, and we will see you in the next one. Thanks, Greg.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.